I'm Jaka.
Thank you.
And today we are going to be coloring these wonderful coloring books I got at the dollar store, one of the greatest establishments in the glittering metropolis which we live in. So this is what it looks like. You're also using dollar store markers. We'll see how good they are. And let's color. Let's color.
Stick to it.
You know, for being $1, these markers aren't nearly as bad as I was envisioning when I bought them.
That's true.
They bleed quite a lot, which is making it difficult to color inside the lines, but...
Yeah, and the black isn't good enough to go through it, so it's just like...
Yeah. But, otherwise, not a big deal.
This is going to be a sapphire, because I think circles should always be sapphires.
Oh, is that a rule?
Yeah, in games, too.
I see.
You notice in games it's always a blue circle, John?
So, Kian, these are adult coloring books.
What?
Do you know what makes an adult coloring book different from other coloring books?
It's harder to color.
That's one thing, yes. Usually the designs are usually more elaborate and thus take more hand-eye coordination to color. But they're new.
They also take...
They're newer. When I was your age, adult coloring books, not a thing. Or at least I'd never seen one before. And I'd been inside several bookstores, art establishments, you name it, I've been in it.
Yeah.
Right? So, what do you think it says about our society that now we're introducing coloring books for adults?
I think it's a good thing,
Why?
because adults need to have fun too.
Uh-huh.
They should be free to use their childish wishes and color.
So, adult coloring books being introduced, apparently, according to the very brief research I've done, is caused by two things. One, it's shown that people are more creative, or they're more liable to be creative in all aspects of their life from just doodling and from coloring just for several moments a day. It's also been shown that it's linked to relaxation, lessened anxiety, etc.
Yeah.
So they've introduced adult coloring books, not just for the artistic adults out there who, you know, like to color like our mom or me or you, but
I'm an adult.
you might as well be. You're like, what is it? You're 11 going on 30 or so. Oh, he finally opened up the blue.
This is like so hard to color inside the lines.
It bleeds. Yeah, it bleeds. Enough said.
That's why I hate it when I color outside the lines. It kills me.
Does it? So how do you feel when you go into doctor's offices or like dentists or, you know?
And they're like a kid.
And there's like the kid drawing with like the one continuous line through the center of whatever character is on the page. How do you feel about that?
No, you have to color exactly the correct colors, everything. You have to do it or else it hurts me. It hurts me to see the line going through all the other lines. It's not even My Little
What
Mermaid
about
anymore.
half-finished pictures? How do you feel about that?
I just sit down and start coloring them.
So like if I don't finish this picture, you're going to sit down and be like, okay, time to color. Good, well, I'm flipping pages because I want to try something.
It lasted like 2 or 3 years.
You went to an eye doctor? When did that happen?
With the eye person, just test your eyes.
Oh, that's not the eye doctor.
And he told me that I had better far vision than other people. Probably makes me good. That's why I'm good at sniper and games and stuff like that.
Oh, since we've organically gotten to the topic.
What do you mean? What are we going to talk about?
The Vive, or virtual reality. We've actually tried the Oculus and the Vive, so we unlike many people can compare and contrast those two things. But yes, our father recently got a virtual reality set, the Vive. Before that, my older brother got the Oculus Rift, if we're saying the whole name. So you were a bit younger, but what do you remember about the Oculus?
It didn't feel very real to me in the first place.
It didn't feel like it didn't feel real to you.
Yeah.
Like, not in a, like, as in a, this is mind-blowingly unreal, or just, it felt like a video game.
I have to say it felt a little real, but didn't really feel like super.
Uh-huh.
As I'm saying, it didn't feel like the Vive.
Yeah. No, I understand. Completely. But, back on trying that out, did it make you excited for virtual reality, or did you not really?
I didn't really think about it.
Okay. And did it ever make you sick, like motion sick?
Nope.
It didn't?
Nope.
Oh, wow. I remember on the Oculus, like, I was fine for the first 5 minutes I had it on. Like, I was running around playing Left 4 Dead 2. And then Papa was like, stop killing zombies, Daka, and just look around. And the moment I even looked around and tried to move at the same time with the arrow keys, I just, like, had to take it off because, like, I was going to be seconds from vomiting. That it was that bad.
I couldn't look or else I'd vomit.
And it was pretty cool. I remember Tao showed me some other stuff after that, but it mostly was unimpressive to me.
Yeah.
And I think a large part of that was that it made me sick. So I was obviously going to be kind of meh about it. But then, I don't know, like probably like a month ago, the Vive set came in. So the first thing we played was the demo by Valve. What did you think of that?
You mean just like the training? The tutorial?
Yeah, the tutorial.
It was okay. It was just like it was like a little bit of it. It wasn't very much. It was just like a small thing. But it was very cool, man. I was having so much fun, but I didn't know what was gonna come yet.
Okay, and
So at the time, it was
so
very
how real
impressive.
did it feel to you to be there?
Like maybe like an 8 or 7, like nearly completely real.
Like, you almost forgot you were in a video game.
Besides the fact that I couldn't feel the thing, but that was like everything else was like perfect.
Okay. Okay, I like the moment I was in the demo, like for the Oculus, I know other people in our family have described that, like, it brought a tear to their eye, like they knew this is it, this is virtual reality, which is something I've wanted for a very long time. I'm not sure when that sort of desire kicked in, but I can just remember being pretty young and being like, I think a lot of it is from watching anime or sort of science fiction stuff where you're like Star Trek, where you're just like, when is this going to happen in real life? Like, we've thought about it, why can't we do it? And so I remember that for me, it wasn't the Oculus that made me go, oh my gosh, like, next 20 years, this is going to be real. This is going to be something I can do. It was the Vive putting on the headset and for the demo, and then the
Being
floor,
able to walk around and actually
Yeah.
be able to turn your head.
and the floor falling out, like, that was, and me being like actually adrenaline afraid and excited that I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. It's real. We're here. We've arrived. And so then after that, we did an basically paint.net, but in 3D. What did you think of that?
That was cool, but it's still not the full potential yet.
No, okay, that's fair. I think a lot of it still needs developers to reach that full potential, but I just remember the moment I realized I could draw in 3D, like, I've always felt like I'm not great at drawing on page because I constantly think like, oh, this isn't what I see in front of me. Even like my best drawings of a person, I'm just like, it's still not them. Like, it's still, like, it has aspects of them, but it's not them. Whereas with this, I was like, oh my gosh, this is whatever I thought I am actually creating. Like, I can't even imagine what, like, a really good artist can do with this. And I mean,
exactly, somewhat what the artist can do.
oh yeah, but I'm talking like a proper, Like, I sit there and I'm like, if you brought back, like, Van Gogh, and we're like, hey, Van Gogh, try this on for size. Like, the things he could create using it.
Yeah, that would be great. I just seen his paintings, just like...
Yeah. And, like, that's something that, like, it seems really small, but, like, even when somebody, you can pull up other users' paintings, the person who did the house, where you could stick your head inside of everything.
Yeah.
And, like, that was just, like, so surreal.
And then Jocko set it on fire.
That's true. I do. I did set it on fire. Alright, so then after that, let's get to the more fun stuff. We did the Brookhaven Experiment.
Brookhaven.
And, well, why don't you tell me how you felt about that first?
It was very creepy.
Yes, that's I basically just think your most generic zombie/mutant thing ever. Which you're sitting, like, I've always largely been able to dismiss these games. It's just like, whatever. Like, it doesn't get to me the way a movie does. Like, even Left 4 Dead's never scared me as much as, like, Planet Terror or something along those lines. Or, like, Aliens. It just didn't, for some reason, like, particularly because I had guns and a lot of ammo, just would never get to me. But I just remember, like, the music dropping and getting really loud for the Brookhaven Experiment, and I already didn't want to be in there because, like, I felt like I was standing in dark woods without ammo, without a gun, or just a little gun, and a flashlight, and I was like, this is real, like, I'm gonna die.
Because I'm the idiot that's not running in the field.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that as an issue, but, so I was just terrified, and then I saw the first one, like, zombie thing walking in the distance, and, like, it was fine. I was, like, very frightened, but I was like, I'm gonna shoot this thing, I'm gonna solve it. Like, my video gamer brain kicked in as like, oh, this is a problem, solve it. You're afraid, but solve it. And so, like, I solved the first 4 or 5, and then that was when they all got on me. And, like, I just, like, couldn't take it. Like, I couldn't look at it. It seemed like it was taller than me, which isn't hard. But, like, it was imposing and towering over me. So I couldn't look at it because it was so gross and disgusting and scary and in my face. So I was, like, turning away, firing over my shoulder to try to not look at it, but also kill it.
And then I just keep getting closer.
And then more got on me, and that was when I actually ripped the whole head thing off and had to, like, stumble away. And, like, I was crying and covered in sweat because it had seemed so real.
You weren't crying.
I was. My eyes were watering so bad, Kian. I was actually crying.
You were crying?
Yeah, I thought everybody else was going to make fun of me for that. Alright, so then you go ahead. You describe the monsters appearing. How did you feel about that?
I was really freaked out just by the wood noises, so the crickets, the sounds.
Alright, so then
police sirens.
That game probably introduced the first issue I would say I've had with the Vive, which is it tracks your arms and your head movements and even your body where you're in the room, but it can't track leg movement yet. Exactly.
Then people in the future are me watching this and
so
like, now we have holograms. What are you talking
so
about?
there's a confined space. So in this zombie game, you're in this very confined box and you have things coming at you from every side, but like your brain sees woods and ground to cover and run on. So I just remember one of the things that really bothered me the most was my brain was like, run into the woods, just run from them. Like, don't try to shoot, just cower out.
You're so slow, why don't you run?
Yeah, like, just run. And I was like the gamer side was telling my brain, like, she can't run, she's in a confined space, this is a game, she has to deal with these. That's the game. If you can't run from the game. And
Jack, I couldn't do it.
so like that issue just like I refuse to play that one anymore. I will not. Like I barely get through BioShock normally. Like just a normal game, normal not VR BioShock is almost too much for me. All right, so then what did we do after Brookhaven Experiment? The lab is the next thing. I think the next thing is the lab.
Yep.
Alright, so
This is where it gets fun.
I mean, I wish I had our reactions for Brookhaven Experiment, even though mine's probably very humiliating compared to yours. He just clammed up. You just were like, you're like that guy in the film who like everybody else walks in on after all the rest, like the whoever the movie's about, they walk in on you and you're like huddled in the corner, like not saying anything and staring, and you're the one they have to try to get all the information out of about what happened. That's you.
Why?
Because you were just like, afterwards you were very quiet and just like the only signs you were at all afraid or upset were like your face was kind of twitching a little, very slightly. Like I'm not even sure I can mimic it, but it would just be like your lip was like very, and
Like I was like slowly quivering.
yeah, like you were just slowly falling apart inside, as compared to my very quick, very violent crash and burn. Yours was just more of like a slow, like I genuinely thought you were gonna come to me like at like 3 a.m. that night, like wake me up and be like, Jock, I'm afraid. And like, just now it finally got to you, Kian.
That go on. He did do that as we just learned.
No, I didn't. That was generally what I thought was gonna happen.
Why?
Because probably half of it is because I just assume you're gonna wake me up for nonsense, and that for me would be like the first time I'd somewhat feel like you hadn't woken me up for nonsense.
Thanks, Shaka.
You're welcome, Kian.
How's it looking so far?
It's looking very good.
It's a little bit Christmassy.
Mm-hmm. All right, so then the lab, which is what we have been doing the most recently with the rest of our family. It's basically just a series of experiences / mini games put together by Valve to sort of show what's possible. And we haven't seen all of it by any stretch of an imagination. But how do you feel about that so far?
It's been great.
Oh man, I totally agree. So talk about the mountain first.
The mountain was interesting. That wasn't very interesting to me in general.
It was so real. What do you mean it wasn't? I mean, I know it wasn't
I didn't really have very much to.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I totally disagree. Just coming out on that rocky mountain terrain and thinking, wow, this is so gorgeous and real. And then
I thought it was gorgeous,
the cute
but,
little
but
dog.
I didn't really feel. I love the dog. The robot dog.
Did you throw sticks for it?
No.
I think I was the first person who was like throwing sticks down the mountain for it.
Yeah, that's true.
But I didn't pet it. That was the other interesting thing.
My dog's only gonna fetch sticks for me.
Yeah, it's true. I was like, this dog is just like gonna go get my stick dog. Yeah, I mean, he seems so excited about it. According to my father, I was chirping the entire time about the dog and the mountain. Was that the noise I was making?
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, I know I really liked it.
You were doing that.
Wow.
You like doing your happy girl, little girl.
I was pretty happy. I thought the dog was really cute. Alright. So I think the only issue I had with the mountainside was that there didn't feel like there was a lot to do, and that like the places I could see felt very limited. And I know it was just a small demo, so it's not really fair to pick on it. But it did really, all of that inspired me both for like educational purposes, like, hey, today kids, we're gonna learn about the Aztecs. Let's go look at some areas that are basically Aztec.
Yeah.
That have been set up by instructors. Like, that would just be so amazing for educational purposes. And like for documentary, geographical stuff. Oh my gosh, it would just be great. But then I also think of like Uncharted stuff, and I'm once again blown away. Because I'm like, wow, wait, that would be cool. I think that was my biggest issue with the Uncharted game that I tried to play, was I was just like, I'm so not into it. Alright, so talk about archery.
Archery was insanely fun. Because I love being an archer, and I might take archery classes at some point. So that was incredible.
How did the bow and arrow feel? Did it feel?
I felt real, even though it wasn't. There was
Yeah.
nothing in there. It just felt real.
Were your shoulders or arms or wrists sore afterwards?
Yes.
Oh man, mine too. Mine are still sore actually since yesterday. So that's another thing that it's going to be huge for working out. Like, to just go from sitting down for most of your hobby to being able to even stand is just such a huge movement, let alone doing all of the stuff that you can do in these games. And these are just demos or like mini games at this point. Like, I can't wait to see a full proper game. And it's going to happen. People are already working on getting the walking mechanics right. All right. You did.
How about the slingshot robot is next?
That was a lot of fun. I think that made me realize you know Portal. You've played Portal.
Yeah. No, I haven't.
No, you haven't. Not all the way, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So that Portal as a game sort of relies on two mechanics to be the great thing that it is. One is the puzzle mechanic with an interesting tool for solving the problems. But then the other is the witty banter. And very few games can stick the landing on witty banter. A lot of them try, and a lot of them it's just excruciating to listen to. You're just please be quiet and let me play your game because you don't have good writers. But they did. But it made me realize how much just being there and having the things talking to you and how real it feels can, in this case, it was still very clever. I'm not sure Valve can do wrong in this area. I think they might be the ones who wrote the book on it. But for people who aren't as good at witty banter, I feel like it's going to dial it up just to feel like you're there and they are talking to you the same way. You might not think your best friend's terribly funny if you just heard them across the room. Yeah. But when you're there and you're in it, you're like, oh yeah, my best friend's pretty funny. Yeah. So that's going to be interesting to see how that changes characters and story, feeling like it's you and it's real. Which some of us already, I already feel like it's me that they're talking to because I'm so immersed, but even this was a step up. All right.
Another thing looking so far.
It's looking good. You're very much better at staying within the lines than me, I'll say that. Not that there's a big surprise there. I loved archery so much, obviously. It was a big find for me.
I'm better at the long shots.
We're better at long shots, which doesn't make it, because the long shots are the harder shots to make, but you were struggling when things would get in close, whereas I'm happy when they get in close. That's when I know I'm going to be able to deal with them quick.
You'll just fire.
Yeah. I also noticed both you and Mom seems to have trouble knocking the arrows.
Yeah, that's true.
And for me, it's so fluid, it just seems so right.
Lego Simulator.
So then let's move on to the bigger topics that come with VR. Do you have any worries about the fact that humans and machines are about to interface in a whole new way?
Not really that much, because of the way they're doing it. I should say?
Yeah.
I'm not really feeling
I think that's what doesn't have me worried yet. Either the moment it's hooking into my brain or something via needle or electric connection, then I'll be worried. But as long as it's just a helmet that I'm taking on and off, I don't think I have as big an issue with that. However, I am interested in where it's going. I can totally see it getting to places where I'm all right, guys, you gotta stop. Skynet will invent itself. You keep this up. So, I think I would want to live in a far future.
What?
Yep.
Why do you want to live in? What do you mean? What kind of far future?
Like a far future that's currently at civil war and like has virtual realities and laser weapons and suits that completely change, like they make you like a superhero, where like all medical technology has like basically made you immortal. Like just craziest possible out there far future.
Jaka. I want to live in a world where there's a civil war.
I do, because then I need there to be something at stake in this world. I don't want it to just be me being like, oh, isn't this so much fun? I'm living in my perfect fantasy. No, I need there to be something going on, a story, a plot, something I'm involved in. And then I want to be like a futuristic soldier, bounty hunter, awesome. But I would use like a bow, because that's obviously involved.
A crossbow, like an electric crossbow or something.
Yeah, something crazy.
Like a laser crossbow.
Yes. Where like I knock and draw energy like it's Dungeons and Dragons, the cartoon.
Why do you want to be at war?
Because I'm telling you, and there needs to be something at stake in this universe.
I did. I have something at stake. But it's not a civil war.
Well,
Like
listen, they aren't real people.
you're killing other people.
No, I'm not. There won't be real people. It'll just be NPCs.
I know, but it's still kind of mean. Why would you think about killing people?
So, describe what you went for.
I went for a medieval shield.
Alright, so I originally started out black and white, and then I felt like it was boring when I finished it, so I added red. So now I have my Sin City color palette. It is a hummingbird, in case you can't tell. I will take pictures of these and then link them in somewhere in the video to be looked at the end. So yeah. This will probably be the last time we ever have to color anything in the next 10 years because virtual reality will take over, and then I won't ever have to do anything as lame as coloring again. This will be what once entertained the masses with adult coloring books, and soon there will just be virtual reality. And I look forward to that day.